And then your urgent care clinic or your retail clinic is slightly higher in this plan, and urgent care is the same, and emergency room is 30% after your deductible. Again, this plan is going to be a lot more expensive if you go to the emergency room because your deductible is quite a bit higher. So the first $3,000 are out of pocket. So again, those retail options or the urgent care options are a really good choice for you. 30% for inpatient and outpatient, and then it's got the same prescription drug benefit on the bottom. So these first three plans, we talked a little bit about the first line, we might want to be on that. Other people who definitely want to consider these plans, if you see a specialist regularly, you probably want to consider one of these plans because specialists are the most expensive doctors to have to go see. If you have a high-end prescription that you're taking regularly, you probably want to consider one of these first three plans because you have cost containment by having a prescription drug benefit. The third plan works a little bit differently. It's called a high deductible health plan. And so this plan actually qualifies you to participate in what's called a health savings account. So it functions differently because the IRS have a different set of rules for it. But your deductible is $6,000 and your out-of-pocket max is $6,550. So they almost match, right? The issue with this is if you go see your doctor, you're going to pay the contracted rate for that doctor's visit, no matter what doctor you go see. If you go to the emergency room, you're going to pay the contracted rate for whatever it is. If you buy prescriptions, you're going to buy it at whatever the retail rate is. So if you do select this plan, GoodRx becomes really important to you because GoodRx is a great way for you to get a discount on prescriptions since this plan doesn't deliver those discounts. So it all sounds pretty negative so far, right? Being on that high deductible health plan. Well, let's talk about the positives of being on the high deductible health plan. Especially if you're young and or healthy, by being on this plan, it allows you to set aside money into your own personal savings account. It doesn't belong to the company, it's your money. And that money comes out of your paycheck before taxes, which is great, it lowers your taxable income, and you can spend it on any qualified medical, dental, or vision expense tax-free. So especially when you're young and healthy, if you start salting money away into that, when you get old like me and all of a sudden things start falling apart, you start going to the doctor more frequently, you've got money to pay all of those out-of-pocket expenses. And if you stay healthy all the way till retirement, at age 65, you can even use that money to help pay for Medicare, help pay for your dental, your vision, all of those things when you get into those older ages. And that's when healthcare costs skyrocket. And the last benefit is if you never, ever need to use that money for medical, you can even take it out as income. Yes?
Is it interest-bearing?
Great question. Yes. It's not only interest-bearing, you can even invest it in mutual funds. So it's self-directed. It's kind of like a 401k. You have to manage that. And I can't talk about investments because that's not my thing. But yes, you can invest. And it's tax-free growth. So any questions on HSA, how they work? So people who would not want to get on an HSA, if you go see the doctor a lot, if you have a heavy prescription, if you need to see specialists, HSA is probably not the best option for you. But if you don't have those kinds of issues, it's the lowest cost plan, and by being able to contribute to that over time, you're going to build up a really large benefit, which may help you, will definitely help you in some way in the future. I think we're going to talk about it later, but I'm going to hit it right now. Because it's an IRS regulated thing, you can only put $3,500 in 2019. $3,500 is the maximum that you can put into an HSA account for an individual, and $7,000 is the maximum you can put in if you bring on a spouse or child or children or a family plan. Make sense?
It's a tax-free deposit, correct?
Correct. Comes out of your paycheck tax-free, and you get to spend it. It's truly the only tax-free vehicle left in America.
You can add more to it, but anything over $3,500, you're going to get taxed on.
Well, you can put post-tax dollars. Talk to your accountant. I'm not an accountant.
It gets really complicated.
It gets complex if you exceed the limits. Now, if you're you can, but there's talk to your accountant. Talk to your accountant. If you're over 55, you can put an additional $1,000 into the account to catch-up provision. So you can put $4,500 or $8,000 into the account, tax-free. All right, anyone have questions? Yeah,
For the HSA, is there an employer contribution?
great question. I don't know the answer, to be honest with you.
No,
No? Okay,
not at this time.
What if you're not on United Healthcare after a while?
so if you change plans next year to a non-HSA qualified plan, it's still your money. And you can still spend it on any qualified medical, dental, or vision expense as long as there's money in the account. And it's yours forever, till it's gone. Yeah. Well, I mean, it should be forever, right? Any other questions?
I know you mentioned for the first plan, you can self-refer yourself to specialists. Is
Yes.
that for all of them?
All 3 plans, actually all 4 plans, you can self-refer. Yeah, yeah. Just remember to check and make sure they're in network. Anyone? Nice. All right, so if we flip the page over, how much does my health insurance cost? All right, so here's the plans. Your employer, I gotta tell you, I do these meetings, I think I've done 3 already today. So I do these meetings a lot. You guys have an amazing employer. 100% contribution on 3 of the plans for you guys is amazing. That never happens. So good job, employer. Thank you.
Argument here.
Oh, they're not here? Well,
No, I said you won't get no argument here.
yeah, okay. So that's really amazing. If you are considering the HSA plan for yourself, one way to look at it is, hey, if I bought the richest plan, it's $26.55. Maybe I take the HSA plan and I put that $26 into my HSA account, and it'll just kind of grow and grow and grow. Hopefully you never use it, and it just keeps growing. And then the other plans, the biggest consideration is really if you need to bring family on, what can you afford, that kind of thing. But there's all the rates. You guys can kind of figure that out. When do we need answers by for their enrollment?
We're doing the enrollment next Wednesday?
Wednesday, yeah. So we're gonna hand out a worksheet for you guys too in a second. I think most of you already got it. And Wednesday next week, we're gonna be doing an enrollment. Pretty cool thing is if you guys do have personal questions, we're gonna have professional benefit counselors here that will be able to answer those questions privately. And they also are very educated on all the plans, so be prepared. Do take this information home. If you need to talk it over with your spouse, figure out what you're gonna do. Be prepared by Wednesday next week to kind of make those decisions, right? Cool. All right, dental. We're moving on. So the dental insurance is pretty straightforward. You've got a $50 deductible for an individual, $150 deductible for family. That means for everything but your preventive visits, you pay the first $50. Pretty simple, right? After you've paid that, then it's a 0 deductible for all of your cleanings, x-rays, and exams. So twice a year, you go in and get your dental work done. It doesn't cost you anything for those. Now, if they need to do a filling, that would be a basic service. Basic service, yeah. So fillings is an example of a basic service. You're gonna pay 20% of that, and the insurance company is gonna pay 80%. Make sense? It's very similar to the medical plan. Major services are a 50-50 cost share. So that's inlays, onlays, crayons. I mean, it's the big expensive stuff. You're gonna have to pay half of the bill. Now, there is an annual maximum on this plan of $1,000. So if you exceed $1,000 in work, then you're gonna be out of pocket, not at the retail rate, you're gonna get the contracted rate still, so that's a good thing, but you're gonna have to be out of pocket for that. Periodontics and endodontics are 20% after you hit your deductible, and same with oral surgery. Now, orthos, anyone have kids that need braces? Yeah, they're really expensive nowadays. So having an ortho benefit, another thing that your employer does that most employers generally don't. So if you do have kids that need braces, that ortho benefit is really good. See the costs down the bottom? Again, thank your employer, paying 100% for you guys. That's awesome. Vision plan, $10 copay for an exam. Anyone has had an exam in a while, it's like $85 for an exam, so that's a pretty smoking good thing, money that you're saving. Frames, you have a $150 allowance if you're in network. Definitely stay in network. There are preferred providers that will have more selection, so if you do a little research before you go, You can find providers that will have additional selection, and I think they're indicated, I don't remember what it's called in United Healthcare, but it's a preferred provider, and then you can get nicer frames or a bigger selection of frames that fit inside that budget. Lenses are a $25 copay. I will warn you, there are a lot of add-ons that they can do on lenses, so don't think that you're going to be able to just buy the one that comes with where it changes the sunglasses and does all that kind of stuff. You're going to pay extra for those. But lenses, a $25 copay is very, very inexpensive. Contact lenses, medically necessary. I've never met anyone who needed a medically necessary contact, but does anyone need medically necessary contacts? Anyway, I've never seen that. But $210 is the allowance that goes towards your contact lenses. If it's elective, it's $105. Now, understand, you can't get glasses and contact lenses in the same year. Okay, it's an either-or situation. And on the contact benefit, I've run into this a few times where you go in and get your contact lenses and you don't spend the entire benefit. You don't get to go back in 6 months and use what you didn't use. So max out the benefit. Get some extra solution. Buy an extra couple sets of contacts. Whatever you need to do, max out that benefit, okay? Everything is 1 year on, so frames, glass, every year you can take advantage of all the benefits inside this. Again, your employer generously pays 100% for you guys, and you can bring your family onto the plans as well.
So on that 1 year, just confirm it's 1 year from the date of use, correct?
So it's a 1-1 is a calendar year plan, but on vision, I think they actually do it from when you, so if you get them in August, you can't do it again until August of the following year.
So it's actually 12 months from the date of use.
Correct. Yeah, so if you get this plan, use it in January, because then then you'll be able to use it again sooner than having to wait. On the dental, it's a calendar year, so it renews every calendar year, and medical is calendar year. I didn't mention this. If anyone has hit all of their deductible or out-of-pocket expense on your medical plan right now, or you still have room left on your dental or vision plan, you don't have a lot of time left. You only got a month, but go use it because it's going to cost you less to use that now because all of those things reset January 1st. Anything else I missed? Are you guys good?
Good.
All right, cool. So short-term disability, this is with United Healthcare as well. It's 66.67%, 2/3, if you want to say it another way, 2/3 of your income. The maximum weekly benefit is $1,500, so anyone who's making $1 million a year, you're limited on this. I'm not, but if you guys want to help me out with that, we good. The benefit duration is 26 weeks. Now, the first week that you're out on disability, you don't get paid anything. So we all have sick days. That's what those are for. So for that first week. Once you're out of work for a week, understand you need to be medically unable to work. So your doctor has to say, hey, you can't go to work. If it's just you feel bad, you don't want to go to work, they're not going to pay the claim. So that gives you a key. If you go in and talk to your doctor and you just broke your leg and you need to stand for your job, have that conversation with your doctor. Hey doc, I need to stand for my job. How long before I can go back to work? Because if you get it documented in the front end, it makes it a lot easier on the claims for these. Any questions on short-term disability, how that works? Just protects your paycheck. I always say change the name to paycheck insurance, because that's really what it is, right?
Again, fully funded by the employer out of the
Yeah, I
organization.
mean, guys, thank your employer. They're paying all of these insurances for you. This is truly, can I work here? Independent contractors, we have to,
You run a CNC machine or be an accountant, because those are the jobs available.
No, could I be the lunch entertainment or something? I have a computer engineering degree. I could probably run a CNC machine if I had to. Okay, this packet here is mostly for your information. There are 3 voluntary plans that are available to you. So these are plans that you would have to contribute to, but they are excellent plans. So the first one on the list is accident insurance. Has anyone ever had an accident in here? Oh, come on. Who's the accident-prone one? There's always one in the room, right?
But you mean falling upstairs and tripping over air?
Who did that?
I do it all the time.
You do it all the time? Yes, that would count as an accident. Actually, it would count as an accident.
Tripping over air.
Can anyone tell me when their next accident's gonna happen? Me either.